Peace, assalamu alaikum, hotel, grand rising, praise God, what's up, what's happening, or whatever it is that you subscribe to. I gotta share this story about JJ. JJ, he was he was laid back. Me and JJ was in Marshall County together. This was 1999. I think we did like from 1999 to like 1999 to like 2001. So like 2-3 years together, me and JJ. And JJ, he was JJ was GD, but he was cool. He was laid back. He was quiet. He really didn't talk to nobody. You know, he ain't really, you know, mingle and do business with nobody other than myself. You know, we used to share meals, you know what I mean? Share cigarettes. They were selling cigarettes on Canteen at this time. They had the top tobacco, I believe that's what it was. But JJ, he was real quiet, man. And so you know, let me go to a commercial break if I may. You never know the mental disorder a person have in prison, especially if he quiet. Now, in some cases, cause I was quiet, I was laid back, but I wasn't quiet to the point where it raised red flags where people had to come see what the charge was. But with JJ, I mean, he was quiet to the point, like, you know, it just made some of the guys, it made some of them suspicious. Now, mind you, me and JJ, we had built a relationship, and I had found out that, you know, this is his third time in prison. And see, at the time I was like 20, 21, 18, 19, 20, somewhere up in there. So JJ was probably like 25, 26. But this his third time in the joint, you know what I mean? After getting to know him, you know, he talking to me, you know what I mean? And but he told me he had a robbery charge. You know, I'm not the kind of person who finna be all in people's business trying to find out, you know, they paperwork, but you had some what they call GD police in there. And like I said, JJ, he raised red flags on why he, you know, he's so goddamn quiet. Like he think he better than everybody. You know, this the type of mentality some of the organizations member had in them. He think he better than everybody. Shit, he locked up just like the rest of us. Nigga, he ain't better than everybody. This the type of stuff people be thinking in the penitentiary. So you had one GD, man. He had just came on his own, but he had been locked up for quite a while. He had a unalive charge, but he had a life sentence. He never going home. But just so happened him and JJ were from the same hometown. They were from Laura, Mississippi. Now it go Laura probably about 30, 40 minutes from where I'm from. And they get active in Laura, Mississippi. You get unalive in Laura, Mississippi. So for those who think Mississippi is just backwoods and country, I mean, yeah, we country, but you get your issue. You get your issue playing around in the SIP. But anyway, come to find out they from the same hometown. So, you know, when he come on his own, you know, he real loud. I can't even think of brother's name. We just gonna call him Lord G. He real loud, you know what I mean? All he talk about was GD this and GD that, Larry Hoover this and Larry Hoover that, Disciple this, the six that, you know what I mean? That's all he talk about. And so, you know, in prison, you can have some information and you can use that information to your benefit. And what I mean is, Lord G knew JJ from the street, so Lord G knew what kind of charge JJ had. Now everybody else think JJ got a robbery charge. Like every time he came to prison, it was a robbery charge or a carjacking charge. But kind of find out, he had one of them RAPED charges. And going back to what I said at the beginning, you never know the mental issues people have. And come to find out, every time he came to prison, this the kind of charge he had, RAPED. That's a mental health issue. I don't care what you say. To do it 3 times, to do it 1 time, it's something wrong with you, because, man, these women out here giving it away, or you can go pay for it, you know what I mean? But to take it, you got a problem. And he did it 3 times, so make the fast forward. So Lord G, he holding on to this information so he can extort JJ. That's how it go in the penitentiary. And both of them GD. But that's how it go. So JJ, he made commissary every week. So I noticed after Lord G was on the zone for like a couple weeks, I noticed him and JJ seemed to be getting, cool. Now JJ, he'll still speak to me and whatnot, but we wasn't cooking meals together, you know what I mean? He really wasn't come hollering at me like talking about, because, Lord G was always in his face. They sat by, they walked to so let me go to commercial break if I may. In the penitentiary, whatever organization you're a part of, whether you Vice Lord, except the Crips and Bloods, they was just wild. They did what they wanted to do. But Vice Lord, GD, BD, who kind of organized and structured. You walked with who you was affiliated with. That's called security. And if you not in line with who you affiliated with, that means you breaking security. So they walking, they always together, going to the child on security. Now JJ really don't gotta go to the child hall, but he probably just going so he won't eat up all his store or whatever. He was reserved like that. But anyway, so they cooking meals together, they smoking together, and they laughing and hee and ha, talking about what happened on the streets of Lord, bro. You remember this, bro? You remember that? You remember dude? Woo, 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 woo. You know this girl? You know that girl? So after about, I give it about 2 months. Lord G and JJ, they politicking on the zone together. I'm talking about Ace Boom Coon. So JJ came to me one day. He was like, bro, now mind you, I'm BD, and I've said this in other stories. Everybody respected me, and I'm not just patting myself on the back because it's me. I'm telling you the honest God's truth. I don't care if you Stone, Vice Lord. Now you had people some people gonna dislike it, but for the most part, I had respect from everybody. And at the time, I'm BD, and I'm not even plugged in with the GDs at this time. And I'm the only BD on the zone. And it was like that damn near, when I was, still affiliated. It was like that damn near everywhere I went. I was the only BD on the zone, and I liked it like that. But anyway, he came to me like, bro, I'm really getting sick and tired of my homeboy. I'm like, who you talking about? Talking about Lord G, man. You know what I mean? He thought he could just go on the locker box and eat whenever he want to eat. You know what I mean? He think he could just talk to me any kind of way, because after a while, they had started horse playing, and you could, like I said, Lord G, he was real loud. They had started horse playing, and he just used to just slap him upside the head, call him all out his name. And JJ wouldn't do nothing but, let me go to a commercial break, if I may. Now, if they weren't homeboys, that could be an issue. you let somebody talk to you crazy, I don't care if y'all is the same thing. Like, you gotta, if you're a part of the organization, you gotta show these folk that you gonna, stand up for yourself. If you don't, then everybody gonna run over. But by them being homeboy and kicking it as tight as they was kicking it, the folk really wasn't even tripping. Like, they just playing their homeboy. And then, it's a certain law when it comes to GD that say you really don't supposed to be horse playing, but it depends on what zone you on. It depends on who the 9 trait. It might be just laid back, and people really ain't tripping. People just trying to do their time and go on. So this one of them zones, like, horse playing really ain't really getting enforced unless you horse playing with an opposition, and then something almost pop off, and then somebody will say something. Somebody end up getting violated. Somebody end up getting sent to the back. You know what I mean? But anyway, so the folk really wasn't even tripping about it. So he talking to me. He like, man, I'm really getting tired of it, bro. I really think I'm finna leave. So I'm like, bro, what you gonna leave for? You leave, they gonna make it look bad. You know what I mean? He like, man, I'm just getting sick of it, man. He just think he could do me any kind of way, eat up all my food. I'm like, damn, bro, that is your homeboy. That's how y'all kick it. You know what I mean? Like, cause people will get offended if you kicking it with them, and then you switch up and don't want to kick it no more. It becomes an issue, and that's exactly what happened. So one day they horse playing, and JJ, he quiet, he never get loud, but this particular day he got loud with bro. And Lord G said, all right, you trying to get some nuts, you want to fight back, let's go to the TV room. And in Marsh County, they had a TV room. So now, some of the folk, they they trying to see what's going on. They were like, hold up, bro, y'all can't do that, y'all can't be fighting, you know what I mean, what's going on? So the guy that was over the zone, he called the OD, so all the GD, they fall in the TV room. Now, me being BD, I could go be nosy if I want to, but I ain't finna get in them folks. I ain't finna get involved in that. Even though JJ cool, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? But anyway, make a long story short, they had an OD. Kind of find out JJ had a RAPED charge. Lord G then exposed him because JJ don't want to be friends with him no more. JJ don't want to smoke with him no more. JJ saying he need to stay out here locker box. JJ saying he need to keep his hands off of him, and JJ, he really mad, but after he got exposed, you already know what's finna happen. Good morning, America. Y'all know how dead I get, but now dead I wasn't on this zone, but you already know what's finna happen. He got exposed. Make a long story short, they smashed him right then and there. I'm talking about, they busted him up and sent him to PC. So, I found out, after, I'm like, dang, they ain't that whooping JJ. After he leave, busted up, you know what I mean? The police came and got him or whatever, told everybody to catch their wreck. And I found out, after they let everybody off their wreck, and they came and took like 4 or 5 of the GD to the hole. I found out from one of the GDs what happened. That, the Lord G exposed him for having a RAPED charge. You can't have one of them charges and be claiming GD. That's just what it is. So they got rid of him. So I said that to say, man, you never know the mental issue that a person have. Like I said, you done did this 3 times, just one time, let me know you got a mental issue. Cause these women out here giving it up or selling it. But you want to take it. I mean, that's a mental issue, bro. You need to go deal with that. Now, I don't know what happened to JJ after that. Cause I don't think he had but like 5 years, and at the time he had been locked up like a year. So I never heard nothing else. from him, man. But it's a lot of it's a lot of people, especially in the black community, that deal with these type of mental issues, man. And it's just crazy that as a community, like we allow this type of stuff to go on in our neighborhood and in our families, and we don't ever say nothing about it. You know what I mean? Like we don't never put forth the effort to make it stop. Like these people with these mental issues, they still come to family functions, they still come to family reunions, and they still be around children, and it just become a generational curse. You know what I mean? Like it gotta become a time that we deal with these mental issues, man. And you know what I mean? I'm gonna just be transparent and tell the truth, man. Like it's a lot of that, you know, that went on in my family, not my immediate family. I'm talking about, you know, amongst the cousins and whatnot. And you know, people never said nothing about it, man. Even me, I never said nothing about it, man. You know what I mean? But I knew what was going on, and it's just crazy how we just let this dysfunction go on within our families, man. You know what I mean? Like, gotta come a time where we deal with this, or it's gonna continue. You know what I mean? And then, you know, you get caught and you go to prison and you affiliated, even if you ain't affiliated, you go to prison, man, you're gonna get dealt with. You're gonna get dealt with, bro. So I just wanted to share that story to kind of tie it in with my mental issues. Like I done seen a lot, I done done a lot, I done been involved in a lot, I done done a lot of wrong. I done done a lot of wrong, bro, and I'm at the point now where I'm really just trying to heal from it. You know what I mean? So I won't pass it down through my genes or through my seed. You know what I mean? So yeah, mental health issues is real. With that being said, peace.